Welcome back to my channel. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Hello all of you. This video is an explanation of the poem Hunger by JAYANTA Mahapatra. The Oriya poet JAYANTA Mahapatra is one of the major Indian English poets of the modern period. As a sensitive poet, Mahapatra deals with every kind of emotions such as love, pain, sadness, death, faith, and so on. Many of his poems seem to carry a social message while exploring the ills of poverty, religious hypocrisy, apathy and indifference of people, and similar issues. His writings carry a deep sense of Indianness in their setting, background, and sensibility. We can often sense the presence of Orissa in his poems. Mahapatra is the first Indian English poet to receive the Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1981. Poverty, hunger, and starvation are the most significant facet of the life of the Indian masses. This is a major theme of Mahapatra's poem, Hunger. The poem is also a study of male sexuality and exploitation of women. The tragic consciousness of women as victims of male lust in a society where poverty and hunger predominate gives the poem a somber and pessimistic vision. At the outset of the poem Hunger, the speaker remarks, "It was hard to believe the flesh was heavy on my back." It seems like the speaker is carrying the heavy burden of flesh on his back, which means he is driven by sexual hunger, which, once fulfilled, will make him feel light. The fisherman who converses with the speaker talks about some girl with whom the speaker can have sex. Obviously, the fisherman offers the girl to the speaker for money. The girl in question appears like a toy or commodity who has no voice in the transaction. The fact that the fisherman speaks carelessly, as though his words sanctified the purpose with which he faced himself, may signify his hidden conscience and guilt, which he is fighting with. He glares his white teeth to hide his uneasiness, but his eyes reflect his misery. The speaker remarks, "My mind thumping in the flesh's sling," as he follows silently the fisherman to his hut. His heart beats fast at the exciting thought of sexual gratification, and he feels as if his heart is being supported by his skin, just as a broken arm is supported by the sling. A hidden sense of guilt makes the speaker feel that redemption can be achieved only by burning the house in which he lived. The speaker, though feeling guilty inward, is overpowered by his sexual urge and remains silent. The fisherman drags up his nets from the sea. We find that his nets have collected only the froth and no fish. The poverty and hardship in the life of the fisherman becomes quite evident. Ironically, the fisherman has been compelled by his poverty to fish customers for his daughter, who has been pushed into the flesh trade by him. As the speaker enters the fisherman's hut, the mood of disillusion sets in. The shack opened like a wound, which signifies the ugly, diseased state of existence of the fisherman and his daughter. The palm fronds scratching the speaker's skin may imply the prick of moral conscience. The speaker remarks, "The wind was I, and the days and nights before," which indicates that just like the freely blowing wind, customers keep coming and going into the fisherman's hut. And this time, the wind-like customer is the speaker himself, who is probably a traveling tourist. Inside the hut, the speaker observes an oil lamp splayed the hours bunched to those walls. Time seems to have stopped inside the hut. There is no day, but only the darkness of night, the darkness of pain and suffering. The oil lamp is the only source of light inside, but it is not enough to dispel the darkness of squalor and misery from the lives of the fisherman and his daughter. The sticky suit, which crosses the space of the speaker's mind, suggests his feelings of gloom and frustration, which cloud over his blank mind at the sight of the hut. In order to lure his client, the fisherman mentions that his daughter has just turned 15. Mahapatra presents here a disturbing picture of an underage girl's sexual exploitation in which her own father hands her over to clients as a sex commodity. The speaker is shocked to find the father playing the role of a pimp to his daughter, and at the same time to discover the crude reality of man's extreme desperation in the face of acute hunger and starvation. The sky fell on me and a father's exhausted while. For the fisherman, resorting to tricks or wile to allure clients for his daughter may be an extremely exhausting practice, repeated too often, but he is compelled to do it in order to fill his and his daughter's stomachs. The 15-year-old girl is described as long and lean. She does not have any charm or freshness of blossoming youth, but is undernourished due to starvation. Nor does she show the animated spirit or liveliness of a 15-year-old, but is cold and frigid. The wormy legs presents a repulsive picture of her infected legs due to unhygienic and sordid living conditions, and is also suggestive of the lowly and abject situation she is in. The sexual performance becomes a mechanical performance for her as she opens her legs wide, inviting the speaker to perform the act. She does it for the sake of food. Not being an active participant in the sexual act, she has developed indifference. The speaker now is dawned with the realization of the two kinds of hunger as the poem comes to an end. The speaker's hunger for sex and the fisherman and his daughter's hunger for food meet in a mutually satisfying union. The father sells his daughter to satiate a man's sexual hunger so that he and his daughter may quench their hunger for food. The metaphor of the slithering fish at the end of the poem symbolizes human beings' frantic attempt to survive amidst hostile conditions. The fish slithers when taken out of water in a desperate attempt to survive in the land. Similarly, the fisherman and his daughter, representing a large section of the poverty-ridden Indian population, make a desperate attempt to survive by selling sex in order to feed their hungry bellies. Like the struggle of the slithering fish for survival, their lives too are a continual struggle for survival. The poem Hunger projects not only the juxtaposition, but the actual interaction between two kinds of hunger for mutual sustenance. The whole poem is tinged with verbal irony. Mahapatra makes a deft use of words which have both literal and metaphorical expressions. He explores the tension and contrast between private sexual fantasies and the physical hunger of the actual world, which is the source of his poetic imagery. The poem has 4 stanzas of 5 lines each, with no fixed rhyme scheme. The style is strikingly realistic in the description of the setting and the behavior of the 3 characters. The metaphoric language makes the poem open to different interpretations by the readers. The poem is a consummate work of art where the words seem to gain life and speak to the readers in many voices.